Hey, this is Jorge Rivera with FirstCoast.tv. You also know me as the host of the St. Augustine Tonight Show. And here at the St. Augustine Amphitheatre, we have done a couple of shows. And guess who I ran into today? Mr. Kevin Venardos. And he has...
Excellent pronunciation, Jorge.
Thank you. And he has a circus that's coming to town. Tell us a little bit about this circus.
Well, about 20 years ago, I answered an ad in a Backstage magazine in New York City looking for a circus ringmaster, and it was the Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus.
Oh, wow.
And for some crazy reason, I convinced them to give me the job. And I was on the road with them for many years and worked subsequently with other American circuses, but I got to a point where I just kept having this voice cry out inside saying, there's something that I want to make, and certainly nothing like a circus happens on one's own. It's the collective efforts of a lot of wonderful people.
Yes.
But we have a real American circus that, especially in this day now that Ringling has rolled up its tents, we are continuing the American tradition, but for a new generation. So people ask me, what is it? I say it's like a Broadway show and Cirque du Soleil put together.
Oh, I love that. There are no animals there.
Thank you. No, sit down. Thank you.
There are no animals.
There's no animals,
So
but
no monkeys are being tortured. No,
no,
dogs
all
are
of my
being...
monkeys are human. I think you can make an amazing circus show with human performers.
Right.
The way we stitch it together with production numbers, singing and dancing, storytelling, and these amazing human feats.
Oh, wow.
That part of it is why people have responded so well, and it's one of the reasons why the tourism board and the amphitheater have gotten on board with us. We want to make this an annual event here in St. Augustine, so we're really excited to share it with the community.
I'm all excited. And
Yay.
everyone I tell about this is just like, a circus? Really? Because, I mean, last time I was in a circus, probably I was 14 years old.
Do you remember the show?
Yes, it was the Pan American circus that traveled through Latin America.
Oh, so you saw it down in where?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico,
yes.
And was it under a tent?
No, it was a stadium that was open like a baseball park, and so everything was happening out. And they had the 3 rings in there, and yeah, 3 rings are challenging. Yes, and so and I remember it was great, and the acrobatics, trapeze, the clowns, 13 clowns out of a tiny little car. And before that there was a Circo Romano, which came to the town. Tiny little tent, something like yours, but a much smaller tent. Probably held less than 100 people. And it was always fantastic.
I would say that a huge majority of the artists I've worked with in America have been from Latin America, from Central and South America, and the sort of cultural identity about how family and friends are so important. That really lends itself to, the circus that I love. Circus to me is another word for family.
Right.
And yes, it's a family show we're presenting here, but although I'm quick to remind people it's not a kiddie show.
Okay.
It's got a level of sophistication that adults will absolutely adore, but the kids will also enjoy too. The content, it's just about magic and wonder.
Right.
But being together, and I asked you, was the circus under a tent? You know, the years I worked for Ringling and all the way back since the Felds had purchased it in the 60s, they did so because they had relationships with those arenas all over the country, and they were popping up at that time. And but they're huge, those spaces, which has its good side. But for me, coming from musical theater, I love the intimacy of the theater. I love the notion that you get to be up close and personal with these incredible people, and especially today when people, in my view, from what I've witnessed and people have said, they really love to feel like they're part of the show. And so not only is there this intimate experience now, we're under a tent.
Right.
It's about 300 people, and I don't know when the last time you were in a tent that fit about 300 people, but it's magic.
Yes.
And then we also incorporate elements of the show where it's interactive with the crowd, you know?
Okay,
So
all right.
people have an awesome time.
I think a crowd of 300 is perfect.
I agree.
Perfect, because I come from a theater background too, and I always love those small theaters where there's probably no more than 250 people. It's the energy is so more, it's hotter, you know? And I love that. So you guys are going to be here from January 24th to February 10th.
Yep, 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Wow. And it's the tent, you guys are putting up the tent at the parking lot of the amphitheater.
Sure are.
And that's where everyone's going to come to see the circus.
Me and my crew are going to roll in here on the 20th, and the following morning, early, we are going to get started smacking 42-inch steel stakes into the earth, and we are going to cause this magical red and white striped circus tent to rise, just like it has in this country and around the world for generations. And just seeing, I mean, for me, I've been working in circus for 20 years, which is still a blink of the eye compared to many of the people, 7, 8 generations of circus.
Right.
But when we got the tent, which was just last year, we've been building this company over the last 5 years, started as a little fair attraction.
Wow.
There's a little magical video I made to pitch the idea, and I've been doing it for other people and other shows, but it's an entirely different thing when you say, all right, I'm going to produce a circus. Now, where do I start with that? So you got to start with the concept, and we started selling it to fairs and festivals as an event. And eventually, when you're working as like an event house or a production company, you're constantly trying to be what you think your client needs.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And I ended up feeling like, because so many of those proposals we put forward, you work so hard on it, and it's a beautiful artistic thing, and they go in another direction. And like so many other times in my career, when that looming idea that you wouldn't get picked up for the next year's show was ahead, I thought, I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to actually, and I'm going to have to build my own circus.
That's it, my circus.
Nobody can fire me now. I say it's mine. I mean, my name's up on the thing, and probably I'm the one who's signing the checks right now. And it might not be here if I wasn't digging in the dirt for all these years, but by no means has this happened by myself.
Right.
There are so many wonderful people, and many of them are my friends and colleagues from my Ringling years.
Wow.
Who now, it gives me such joy to give them, a job. To give them, I'm
What
putting
they
money in
love
their
to do,
pocket.
what they love to do.
And also, we are keeping magic alive.
Yes. Now, there's going to be like popcorn and all that kind of stuff.
Cotton candy.
Yes.
You're getting all giddy, Jorge. I love to see it.
I like a little kid when it comes to stuff like circus and clowns and stuff like that. So, this is our poster.
There it is.
And you're going to see this at many places. When you see this poster, get excited, because I am, okay? So, it's a pleasure to talk with you.
Oh, Jorge, thank you.
Man,
likewise.
we are really looking forward to this. And remember, it's Venardos Circus. Yes, you can say it with a Hungarian accent. Yes. And so
we actually have Hungarians in the show. No joke.
So that's it.
Jugglers.
Hey, spicy sausage. I like some. Hey, we'll see you then. And thanks again. It's going to be a blast.